Are you Lions fans nervous? Yeah, so am I.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
It's a Friday edition, everybody, of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day on a Friday, January the 12th into Saturday, January the 13th. And that means January 14th is just around the corner. And that's Sunday night for round one of the playoffs. And for the first time in 30 years, the Lions are hosting a playoff game. And for the first time ever, the Lions will host a playoff game at Ford Field. Matt Derry with you. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for making us your first listen and checking us out wherever you get your podcast. Don't forget, you can find us on YouTube as well, the video side, for free. Subscribe and watch on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. Coming up on the show today, we got crazy news on tight ends. One is out, but it's not who you think for Sunday night's game against the Rams. We'll get into that coming up momentarily here. Calvin Johnson deserves some love. He went on the Up and Adams show this morning with Kay Adams and represented Detroit the way Calvin Johnson should have and needed to. Thumbs up to Megatron. We'll play that audio coming up momentarily here on the show. A little bit of a history lesson. What was the last couple of times the Lions had a former quarterback come into Ford Field and play him? And how did it go? We will talk about that coming up momentarily and a few keys to victory before Sunday night against LA. All of that right here on a Friday edition of Locked On Lions. The podcast today is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase at Gametime. Follow us on Twitter at Derry Speaks, at Locked On Lions on Twitter, Matt Derry Facebook fan page, on Threads at The Real Matt Derry, and like I said before, on YouTube as well. Thank you to all of you everydayers out there that are out there checking out the show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the post-game pods on Sunday. I really appreciate our audience. We've been doing this show since 2016. This is the most excited. This is the most anticipated. This is the most crazy I've felt. This is awesome. I mean, Sunday night is going to be off the charts downtown. It's going to be wild. Ford Field the roof might come off. Seriously. And for all of you that check out the show, that have contacted me, that have tweeted to me, messaging, whatever it is, thank you. Seriously. You guys help make this what it is, your fandom. We wouldn't be able to do a Locked On Lions show if the fans didn't care, if there was no interest in it. So thank you to all of you out there. A few everydayers I wanted to give a shout out to. Jimmy Mayer, who hit me up. Brian Oela. Also, Mike K. Cook from 8 a.m. 800, the Mike and Lisa program on CKLW, the Blowtorch. Thank you, Mike, for having me on this morning. Jason Helling whipped me up on LinkedIn, and Scott Donnellan as well. Just a few of our everydayers who check out the show, whether it's audio or video, each and every day. Nervous? Yes, of course. Who wouldn't be? All right. And I've joked all week and I've called him the unnamed quarterback, but let's get serious for a second. Matthew Stafford is really good. All right. He's coming back. I'm not talking about Kelly and Hank's event tonight in Royal Oak. I'm not talking about whether you boo or cheer and jersey wearing and Jeff Glover. I'm not getting in any of that garbage. All right. Bottom line is the guy on the other side can sling that football. He's really good. And if he gets time to throw and the Lions secondary is not ready to tackle and not ready to cover, it could be a long night. And when you got a Super Bowl winning coach on the other side like Sean McVay, you got a quarterback in Matthew Stafford that you know is going to be motivated, knows that building inside and out, right? Has had some very good to great games at Ford Field. Of course you should be nervous because the way the Lions have played defensively, yeah, Dallas was fantastic. It was a really good defensive effort, but against the pass, over the last few weeks, whether it was CeeDee Lamb going for 200 yards, Justin Jefferson nearly 200 yards, whatever it is, now you're going up against Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams, Stafford. I mean, this is a good football team coming in. And you're not beating up on bad quarterbacks. This isn't facing Nick Mullins twice in 3 weeks. This isn't facing Bryce Young or Justin Fields, who after 3 years, the Bears still don't know what to do with. This is the real deal. It's the playoffs. We're upping the ante here. We're upping the competition level here. So as a Lions fan, and I'm a fan just like you guys, of course I'm nervous. What if Goff throws a pick or two? What if the Rams come in and quiet the crowd and go down the field like Jordan Love did on Thanksgiving or Justin Fields did weeks earlier, and just they shred this defense and it's just not enough? You know, there is some pressure on the Lions. They're the favorites here. They should win. But I'm nervous, just like you are. And I think they got a shot. I think the Lions can win. I picked them yesterday on the crossover to win. They've got good players. They can make plays. This offense is tough to stop. But it still doesn't mean you shouldn't be nervous. I've said this for months on this show. This fan base, this fandom, everybody that's involved with the Lions, they've been waiting forever for this. And 30 years later, the quarterback that couldn't get you to this point is coming back to town. It's just like, really? They couldn't have played the Saints or the Seahawks, just fired their coach, or the Packers. Had to be Stafford, right? So it makes you overthink. That's what fans do. That's what we do. That's what you do. What if this happens? What if that happens? But the Lions can control the line of scrimmage and do their thing and run the football and keep Stafford off the field. Yeah, I think they got a good shot. But should you feel a little bit of nerves? Of course. You're looking at it this weekend. We got snowstorm going on out there. It's going to be cold. That has nothing to do with the game on Sunday night, but just planning and where are you going before the game, and what about the drive? How will the roads be? And you think about all this stuff as you get ready for something like Sunday, for those of you that are going. And I'll be down at the stadium. I'll be down at Ford Field. I cannot wait. Thank you again to Turner and Jody Batdorf and their crew for having me to this game. Bless you guys. Seriously, I'm excited to join you and be there in the stands. I'm going to hop up to the press box as well and go see my guy Ross Tucker and some other friends. But man, I cannot wait. Cannot wait. And when we get to the keys to the game, I'll tell you what I think the number one key is going to be for Sunday night when we talk about Lions and Rams. And speaking of blizzards, I guess there's like a snow emergency in Buffalo tomorrow for Sunday at 1:00 for Bills and Steelers. How's that going to go? Crazy. These matchups this weekend there's some good ones, like Cleveland and Houston tomorrow. Like, that's a good game. Like, that's a tough one to call. I know there's gamblers out there that are going, oh, the Browns spread, it went from 3 to 2 and all. There's a lot of really good Green Bay, Dallas is going to be great. Even the Monday night game, Tampa, Philly, so much intrigue with some of these games. So this definitely should be a lot of fun. All right. Coming up next, let's discuss what's going on with the tight end situation. This is wild. We will do that coming up next right here on Locked On Lions. And the program today brought to you by Gametime. You shouldn't have to worry when you want to buy tickets to your next big event, and that includes this weekend. If you go to the Gametime app, yes, there are Lions and Rams tickets available on Gametime. It's the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. Killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee. Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. The best thing I love about the app is the views from your seat in the venue. You go there, you look at the section that you're in, and you'll know exactly how it's going to look. Maybe it's too high, maybe it's too low, too far to the right, too far to the left. Get all of that on the Gametime app. All right. They got deals on tickets right up to the start of the game and even an hour after it starts. It's the place to find last minute deals. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Seriously, take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDON, LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. I'm back with you on a Friday edition of Locked On Lions, Locked On Podcast Network. Thanks for making us your first listen and checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. If you missed the Locked On Lions and Locked On Rams crossover from yesterday with Travis Rogers, please check it out. I called Travis out a little bit for talking about Dan Campbell and how what was the terminology that he used? I wrote it down. Something about ridiculously clumsy or something like that Travis Rogers had used in his show earlier this week. He believes that maybe Dan Campbell's going to make some stupid calls, but he's almost scared that the stupid calls are going to work. I enjoyed the conversation with Travis. Check it out. Go back and check out yesterday's show, our Locked On crossover edition. All right. Final injury report is out. And again, this could change tomorrow and everything else, but so maybe it's not the final injury report, but injury designations had to come in today. And Pro Bowl tight end, and by the way, all pro, second team all pro tight end today, Sam LaPorta, is now questionable for Sunday with the knee injury. Went through some practice today, had a giant brace on his left knee, yet was out there. Sam LaPorta listed as questionable is great news. When you're questionable, you're probably going to play. John Kaminsky has been sick. He's got an illness. He's questionable. But Dan Campbell, optimistic, Sam LaPorta can play. Now, what makes this interesting for Sunday is his backup, Jase Medical, injured his hand in practice yesterday. Didn't practice today and has been ruled out. So wait a minute. So if LaPorta tweaks his knee again and Jase Medical is already out, who the hell's left to play tight end? I will tell you. Something called Anthony Firkser is on the practice squad, and you have to figure will be elevated for this game. You also got Jason Cabindo, who I'm sure could play some tight end, and heck, throw Dan Skipper out there. You might as well. But LaPorta likely in, listed as questionable. Jase Medical out. Also ruled out Khalif Raymond, the Lions punt returner who injured his knee on Sunday. Hasn't practiced all week. Got to figure we'll see some Donovan Peoples-Jones returning punts. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, it's a possibility. Raymond out. Mitchell out. James Houston has practiced this week. Still not ready to go yet, coming back from that broken ankle. He has been listed as out. And Jerry Jacobs, who put out a tweet the other day basically saying goodbye to Detroit. It was kind of weird. Has a knee and thigh injury and told the media he's going to injured reserve. So the Lions have yet to make that official yet. There's been no official announcement from the team. But Dan Campbell said today, quote, Jerry's had a little injury or whatever. We won't make any transactions until tomorrow. So Jacobs out, Houston out, Mitchell out, Khalif Raymond out. No, Jerry Jacobs has basically been banished anyway and really has only been playing on special teams the last few weeks. So you're going to see some more Khalil Dorsey. You're probably going to see Will Harris. Stephen Gilmore, who's been inactive every week, might be active for this game. I don't think he's played all year. So that's a little scary. But it sounds like Jerry Jacobs going on IR. Of course, his contract is up after this year. Maybe he was saying goodbye to Detroit. We'll have to wait and see. But what I find very interesting is this tight end situation. We've all been so excited that Sam LaPorta, from Wednesday on where Dan Campbell said, look, we did tests and the tests came back and, there's an outside chance here. He's doing better. He's improving every day. So we saw him a little bit. Dave Burkett, I think, posted it on Twitter, a video of LaPorta with his knee kind of wrapped, but running drills. They were throwing him a ball down the left sideline. He actually sped up to go get it. If they can have a healthy Sam LaPorta out there and he's playing with a little brace on his knee, but still giving it to you and giving you big catches and big plays, man, what an offense this Lions offense is when there's everybody there. Khalif Raymond being out means likely we'll see the return of Jamison Williams and maybe even Antoine Green for this game. I have a feeling we're going to get a deep shot with JMO at some point in this game. Just have a feeling about that. And hopefully he catches it and it's a big play. So those are your injury designations as of now. There will be more roster moves tomorrow to kind of get the roster in full swing for Sunday night's game against the Rams. But good news on Sam LaPorta, but bad news on James Mitchell because he injured his hand in practice yesterday, didn't practice today, and that's where it's at. So very, very interesting. I promised you this. I got to play you this audio from Up and Adams earlier today with Kay Adams, formerly of Good Morning Football and now does her own show. It's a YouTube show and I believe it's some other places. DraftKings are one of those. She had Calvin Johnson on her show today, and she asked Calvin who he's rooting for because she knows that Calvin has that relationship with Matthew Stafford. I want you to take a listen to this. I am proud of Calvin Johnson. I have been one that has ripped on Calvin Johnson for the last few years for some of the things that he's done. I've also ripped on Rod Wood for how he handled the Calvin thing. But this was good. I appreciated Kay Adams' question, and I liked Calvin's answer. This is courtesy of Up and Adams. Take a listen to this.
Top in some suite somewhere.
Oh, you gotta like.
Oh yeah, no, we were texting the other week, and I told him, I was like, "What are the chances of you coming back to Detroit to play in a playoff game?" And lo and behold, he's going to be here.
He's gonna be there now. Where do you sit? Are you going to the game?
Oh heck yeah, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna try to see him on the sideline before the game. Then I'll be up top in some suite somewhere.
Oh, you gotta get in his head though. We can't. We're not. Are we rooting for Matthew Stafford? Are we rooting for Matthew Stafford?
No, we're not. I love Matthew, but when he comes to Detroit, all bets are off. He's coming into the den, but the boys about to get after him.
Yeah.
All right, there it was. He's coming into the den. Buddy boys are going to get after him. Thank you, Calvin. Thank you. Calvin Johnson is back as a Lion. No more hostility, doesn't sound like, and he was ass flat. He didn't get, what I was expecting? I'm going to root for both. I hope Matthew has a good game, and I'm hoping the Lions win, but I'm rooting for both. Or I can't root against my guy. No. He flat out said, no. He's coming into the den, rooting for my Lions. Thank you, Calvin. Much needed. I needed to hear that. I loved it. That's awesome. So Calvin Johnson on the Up and Adams program says he's rooting for the Lions. He'll go see his buddy Matthew Stafford, but no, he's all in for Detroit. All right, a little bit of a history lesson. When was the last time a former Lions quarterback, just like Matthew Stafford or the unnamed quarterback, whatever, was this time the Lions went up against one of their former QBs? I've got that answer for you. We will do that coming up next right here on Locked On Lions. Hey, we got to tell you about our friends at Jase Medical. I know we come to sports to kind of escape from some of the crazy realities of real life, but can we talk just for a minute about preparing for a real life situation? According to the FDA, pharmacies are running out of antibiotics like amoxicillin right in the middle of the worst flu season in over a decade, and that is scary. I can't imagine a more helpless feeling than if my wife got sick while a supply chain issue kept her from getting the life-saving medications that she needed. Thankfully, we'll all be all right because of Jase Medical. The Jase case is a pack of 5 different antibiotics to treat a long list of bacterial illnesses, including UTIs, respiratory infections, sinusitis, skin infections, among others. This stuff can happen to us at any time. Visit Jase Medical, JASE medical.com, and complete your physician encounter. It will be reviewed by a board-certified physician, and your medications will be dispensed by a licensed pharmacy at a fraction of the regular cost. It's never been more important to be prepared, more prepared than today. Go to jasemedical.com and use offer code LOCKEDON to get $20 off your order. All right, our crack research staff was all over this today and sent me this missive text message. Lions are going to be playing and facing Matthew Stafford. We know about this weekend. Last time the Lions faced quarterback that played for them and came back to Ford Field was Jeff Garcia in 2007 with Tampa Bay. Lions defeated the Bucs that day 23-16. It was one of the Lions. The Lions improved to 4-2. They were off to a 6-2 start that year, which was probably the highlight of the Millen era. Now, before that, the year before in 2006 was the Joey Harrington game on Thanksgiving, I believe, when the Dolphins came into Ford Field and John Joseph Harrington threw 3 tutties en route to a 27-10 win for Miami. Remember, the Lions played the Billy Joel song, The Piano Man, and tried to haze him a little bit, and yet Joey had a big game. So you got to go back to 2007, the last time a former Lions quarterback came in and played and started against his former team, Jeff Garcia. How about that? And you know what else made me think of the Lions past today? Gerard Mayo, the former Patriots linebacker and Patriots assistant coach, was named the successor for Bill Belichick. He'll take the New England Patriots head coaching job. Remember, 2008, Rod Marinelli loved Gerard Mayo coming out of college, wanted to draft him. The Lions were sitting at number 17, tried to trade up. It didn't happen. Patriots take Gerard Mayo at 10, and the Lions have to settle for Gosder Cherilus at 17. Millen knows Marinelli wanted that linebacker so bad. So what does Millen do? He tries to hook up Marinelli in the second round with Jordan Dizon, who was a total bust linebacker. Then the Lions went 0-16. They just would have traded up for Gerard Mayo, now the head coach of the Patriots. Maybe they wouldn't have gone 0-16. Speaking of Mayo, what about Joe Mayo from Seinfeld? All right, let's do this. How are the Lions going to win this game? What are the keys to Detroit getting a W against the Rams? I normally give you 3 keys. I'm giving you 2. Here are the 2 things that I think need to happen Sunday night for the Lions to beat the Los Angeles Rams and advance to the second round of the playoffs for the first time since 1991. Number 1, it's all about you guys. I think the crowd has got to be nuts. I think the crowd has got to harass that Rams offense so bad that it forces false starts. It forces, miscommunication. It forces a receiver going across the middle to start thinking a little bit more about where the defenders are around him, some alligator arms. I think the crowd is going to play a big role in Sunday night's game. 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, false start on the right tackle, false start on Avila with one of the guards, whatever it is, turns that into 3rd and 12, 3rd and 13. Those are tough to convert. So that's number 1. I think the crowd is going to play a big factor, and I hope the crowd is so into it that it helps the Lions' cause. Home field advantage, home ice advantage in hockey, please. Home court in the NBA sometimes, but not really. Baseball, forget it. But this could be something special. This could be a home field advantage that gets the Rams rattled. That's number 1. My second key, and I want you to watch specifically for this and remember this if it happens. The Lions cornerbacks have got to tackle. The Rams, yards after the catch, Nakua, Kupp. This is not Stafford just throwing the ball deep all the time. All right? There's crossing routes. There's, 5-yard hitch and goes, the 5-yard hitch and outs. There are boundary plays. There are plays to the sideline. All right. There are slants. If on a 3rd and 9, Stafford throws the ball to Cooper Kupp on a slant and he's matched up against Cam Sutton or Vildor or Will Harris or Brian Branch, tackle him. Force a 4th and 2 and a punt, as opposed to, missed tackle and a first down. Secondary tackling, safeties and corners is a huge key. Lions think they're getting off the field. It's 3rd and 12. They throw the football to the tight end, to Higbee. Breaks a tackle. First down. No, we don't want to hear breaks a tackle. We want to hear brought down. What a play. All right. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is such a sure tackler. That's why I want him on the field. All right. Melifonwu has gotten better in that department. But the Lions cannot afford missed tackles in the secondary. That will extend plays. That will extend drives for the Rams. The Lions make Did you watch Michigan Monday night against Washington? Their DBs tackled. Anytime Odunze or the other kids got open, the Lions, Michigan tackled them. Will Johnson in the open field with the tackling, right? Huge. Saab, the tight end, or the safety, made tackles. So preventing yards after the catch, man, could be a huge key for this Lions victory. All right, that'll do it for this week. Post-game pod Sunday night into Monday morning, whenever I get home. I will make you that promise that if you get up Monday morning, go to work or just whatever, or you're up all night and can't sleep, I will provide a post-game pod for you when I get home. Hopefully it's semi-timely, but stick with me. Thanks for making us your first listen, checking us out wherever you get your podcast. Thank you for checking us out. Tell your friends. I love all of you. Go Lions.